What's up, y'all? Whoa, let me show you something here there's no possible dispute to. My name is Evan Strong, the founder of In The Image Clothing Company. We are only a clothing company to do what our slogan is here under our main side. One of the four sides to us as In The Image Clothing Company. Our slogan is allowing the body to work. So I'm going to get right into this. This might be a quick video. I'm just going to really discuss this and show the visuals. This video's title is The Body Comes Up and Internal Rotation or Down and External Rotation. The body truly only has one way it could ever possibly physically, mechanically operate. We could say the body only could ever possibly work one way. We could say the body's bones only grow to the shape and length that they are and they'll never do anything else. There truly is only one way the human body could ever work. Our slogan here under In The Image Clothing Company's main side is allowing the body to work because God designed the body to work. No opinion, no belief, no religion. I don't have any kind of new information here. The body is truly just measurable mathematical degrees of hinges, levers, and rotations determined by the shape and length of our bones that just grow by themselves within this universal human design though. Every body who has one and everyone who has a body, unless you're different, which you can be, but only from something, which is this universal human design. So things like amputations, deformities, birth defects, major surgeries, injuries you're healing from, these things can change how your body works, but there's still only one way the human body could ever possibly work. There's no possible opinion to that. There's no new information here. It's just an understanding that isn't developed within each individual if it isn't yet. We deal with universal laws outside of all of us. Physics and just motion, how it works. Gravity's vertical pull that comes down and meshes with the perpendicular angle to the surface of the earth, which is horizontal. This is a 90-degree right angle. This only meshes with the body the way it does. The body's center line, the sternum, the spine, the trachea, the nose, the jaw, mesh with the vertical pull to gravity. The bottom of the feet mesh with the horizontal surface of the earth. There's a neutral position to the entire human being, with even opposing musculature pulling on either side of a neutral position to stabilize us in the neutral. We've got things like this that we have to see because there's only one way these things mesh together. Different length, 4 fingers, wrapping evenly around a different length opposable thumb that plays an entirely different function than the fingers. Different length 5 toes within this universal human design. They come up and in toward the center line of the body like an arrow, and we evenly roll off the ends of all 5 different length toes within this universal human design just to share the weight. There's always a neutral position to the entire human being. There's no possible opinion to it, just within motion, laws of physics outside of all of us that we couldn't have any kind of possibility to decide or change. Truth in general, that's the case for, no matter what it is, as a human being. Things like a pendulum, the arms hanging down, the hand hanging down from the other end of the arm at the shoulder. Gravity just pulls the arm straight down. Let's talk about this. It only is what it is. The body comes up and internal rotation, or down and external rotation. This video's title, the 18th of August, 2026, under In The Image Clothing Company's main site here. So I'm just going to show a lot of this and say what's happening at the same time, and so you'll see the visuals and we'll just see that this is truth. The bones just connect directly to each other through ligaments. They just grow by themselves to be a very specific shape and length. The bones could only ever possibly mesh just about exactly how they're shaped. Otherwise, they wear out the cushioning between the bones, which is called cartilage, and then the bones could wear each other out. So you can see with the knuckles of the hands, there's only one way they can actually possibly move together without not meshing. Okay? This is in every single part of the entire human being. It grows by itself, designed in the image of God, in the image of Jesus Christ. You don't have to be religious, but the body grows by itself. And it doesn't matter who you are on any end of time or any part of the earth, any time period to ever be any human being whatsoever. It all works the exact same. Unless someone's different from this universal human design, but that's a very small percentile of individuals, and we address those things if and where needed. So yeah, sitting down here on the ground with the bottom of my pelvis or the bottom of my hips, my sit bones on the ground, my legs and my arms both, starting with my heels on the ground with my pelvis like this, they will come up and rotate inward toward the body, or they'll come down and rotate out away from the body. I can't really go down and internally rotate where I hit bones together and I pull on muscles and pinch muscles between bones. And I can't really come up an external rotation or I hit bones together, pinch muscles between bones, or pull on muscles. It only works how it works. So here's the thing, the body has internal rotation and external rotation in the legs, okay? Internal rotation and external rotation. So there's got to be a neutral between the two. Just like swinging a pendulum, there's always a neutral between swinging it forward or swinging it back. And gravity just pulls it straight down, for example. In the arms, there's internal rotation and external rotation. Internal rotation and external rotation. And there's a neutral between the two. There's truly only one way this motion can happen. Even if we made a robot of wood or metal or anything that's not an actual alive human being, but it had all the same parts, it would do the exact same thing. We could get out something to measure it with, and it would have the same exact measurable mathematical degrees of motion that could happen until the parts of it hit together, until the bones of the human being physically hit together, and you will never possibly go any farther. There's a neutral between these two sides in everything in the entire human being. And a lot of it's things like the shape of the upper leg bone coming up and into the hip. The femur is the upper leg bone. There's a femoral head, which is a ball at the top of the upper leg bone, meeting into the acetabulum of the hip, which is a socket. And that's what allows all that motion in the hip. And the shape comes up and inward to the center line of the body. The upper leg bone doesn't just come straight up only. And just the way that the shoulder is connected to the skull, the muscles that pull the shoulders up, like the upper trapezius, connecting to the top and rear of the shoulder on the scapula or shoulder blade, connecting up and into the cervical spine or the spine of the neck and the center line of the body, which meshes with Earth's vertical gravity pull, but also up to the skull, at the very base of the rear of the skull, right off the spine. The muscles that pull the shoulders upward pull the shoulders in. So the shoulder comes up and internal rotation, pivoting up and in on this collarbone called clavicle, one of the three bones of the shoulder. And the top of the chest here in the front, the top of the sternum bone and the center line of the body here. The collarbone or clavicle, just two names for the same bone, comes from right there at the base of the throat and the top of the sternum, up and out to the edge of the peak of the shoulder, where it meets the other two bones of the shoulder, the upper arm bone called the humerus and the shoulder blade called the scapula. So this collarbone or clavicle just pivots up and inward, or it pivots down and outward. It's just directly bone to bone on either end of the collarbone or clavicle. So the body comes up and internal rotation, or down and external rotation. This video's title, on the 17th plus one more, the 18th of August, 2026, under In The Image Clothing Company's main site. There's only one way this can possibly happen. All muscles do is connect two bones directly through tendons, and they pull, and only directly in line. You will never get a muscle to possibly physically, mechanically, literally ever do anything else besides pull, first of all, contract. It's an electrical system from the brain sent out through the body's nervous system, down the brain stem and through the spinal cord, stemming off through the entire body to the extremities at the tips of the toes, the tips of the fingers, and up to the tip of the head. But also muscles just take an endpoint where they're connected to something, a bone, and another endpoint where they're connected to something else, another bone, and they just pull those two locations directly in line. And they could never possibly do anything else. So just the locations in the body that the muscles are connected to the bones, that's all the body could ever do. There's truly only one way the human body could ever possibly physically, mechanically operate. There's only one way the human body could ever work. But this video's title, let's show a lot of a visual here. On the 18th of August 2026, under In The Image Clothing Company's main site here, the body comes up and internal rotation, or down and external rotation. Well, I showed it in the arms here. Up and internal rotation, collarbone called clavicle coming up and in toward the body, upper trapezius pulling up and in toward the body, in toward the spine from the outside of the shoulder here at the scapula or shoulder blade, and up to the base of the skull as well, which is just up and in from where it's connecting to the shoulder. Muscles only pull and only directly in line. And as we go down, collarbone or clavicle pivots out into external rotation. The body comes up and internal rotation, or down and external rotation. This video's title, the 18th of August, 2026, under In The Image Clothing Company's main site here. If I bend my forearms, we've got two bones rotating over each other in the forearm, the radius and the ulna. So we bend the forearms upward, and the forearm rotates up and internal rotation because the two bones literally roll up and over each other, inward. Or the forearm goes down and external rotation because the two bones in the forearm literally rotate over each other and down and out away from the body. Even if I keep my whole upper arm bone at the same height, my actual forearm will come up a little bit in internal rotation or go down in external rotation. I mean, not just a little bit, it's actually a decent amount. The body comes up and internal rotation or down and external rotation. This video's title on the 18th of August 2026 under In The Image Clothing Company's main site. There's only one possibility without breaking a bone, rupturing a tendon, separating bones at the ligaments, or pulling a muscle. That's the only possibility, is if motion's going to happen. It's determined by the shape and length of the bones in the body that grow by themselves. Designed by God. It just grows by itself. There's only one way the human body could ever work. So the same thing with the legs. Yeah, the legs will either rotate up in internal rotation or down in external rotation because of the way the upper leg bone comes up and into the hip. It comes up and inward to the center of the body. And so we rotate on this bone that's not just straight up the leg. And so the whole leg comes up in internal rotation or down in external rotation. And it just is what it is. It's the shape and length of the bones. So remember, we've got different length 5 toes within this universal human design. The neutral is the pinky toe is pointing straight forward, and we just roll evenly off the ends of all 5 different length toes to evenly share the weight. Then there's internal rotation and external rotation, internal rotation and external rotation on both sides of the neutral to the legs. The entire body has a neutral position. This video's title on the 18th of August 2026 under In The Image Clothing Company's main site here. The body comes up and internal rotation or down and external rotation. If I stand up and grip the ground with my feet, we've got 2 feet evenly opposing the center line of the human being, gripping arches inward to keep us vertical on Earth's vertical gravity pull, which also is centered, meshing with the center line of the body. Well, standing up, if I grip the ground and just go evenly off the end of my 5 different length toes, because the toes are different lengths, when they grip the ground to have that arch get created, like the hand here, they rise, okay? The toes grip in and back just because that's the angle of the 5 different length toes just pulling, the only way the bones of the toes into the feet are shaped, and the muscles just connecting to those bones and pulling them together directly in line. As we grip the foot arch, it rises and comes in. The body comes up and internal rotation or down and external rotation. This video's title, the 18th of August 2026 under In The Image Clothing Company's main site here. If you grip an arch, it rises and comes inward. If an arch collapses, it goes downward. Watch me stand up and do this though. Up onto my toes, onto my different length 5 toes. The body grips, arches in and up, or the body collapses down and out. Okay, this video is titled the 18th of August 2026. The body comes up and internal rotation, or down and external rotation. Notice my feet point out into external rotation when the arches collapse. My feet are neutral with the arches neutral from pronation to supination. My feet come up and in when I grip arches excessively high, if you will, gripping the ground more than just normal standing in the feet. Okay? There's no possible opinion to it. It's the shape and length of the bones. It's no new information. The human body has and always will be the exact same thing, designed in the image of God. It only is what it is. So watch my legs. I'll turn around and bend my leg at the knee and show what I was showing with the forearms, up and internal rotation and down and external rotation, even when the upper arm bone's staying in the same spot. I'll leave my upper leg bones in the same spot, but my legs will rotate up and internal rotation in the two lower leg bones, the tibia and fibula, or down and external rotation in the two leg bones in the lower leg, the tibia and fibula, like the radius and ulna, those two bones in the forearm. Watch this, okay? If I bend my leg here, the body will rotate up an internal rotation or down an external rotation, because I'm just rotating two bones around each other, the tibia and fibula in the lower leg, and they only do what they do, okay? Up an internal rotation or down an external rotation. These two bones are literally just rolling over each other in the lower legs. This video is titled the 18th of August 2026 under In The Image Clothing Company's main site here. The body comes up and internal rotation or down and external rotation. I mean, look at my arm just go up or down on my leg. The body comes up and internal rotation or down and external rotation. The body comes up and internal rotation or down and external rotation. There's no possible opinion to it. There's no way you'll ever get the human being to do anything besides what it has always been able to do and always will be able to do. It's impossible to do workouts or fitness routines, anything. Stretching things, your muscles only ever pull, opposing a neutral position to every function in the entire human being, even opposing muscles pull to stabilize us. You will never possibly get the human being to do anything besides what it has always been able to do. There's no opinion to that possible. I'll show it on my back here. The body comes up and internal rotation or down and external rotation. This video's title on the 18th of August 2026 under In The Image Clothing Company's main site here. Watch this. Up and internal rotation first or down and external rotation. Up and internal rotation, down and external rotation. My body literally just comes up off the ground if I internally rotate the leg. If I externally rotate the leg, the body just drops down onto the ground. Up off the ground and internal rotation, down onto the ground and external rotation. The body comes up and internal rotation or down and external rotation. Watch me just lay back or sit back up. The body will drop down into external rotation or come up in internal rotation. Down an external rotation or up an internal rotation. It's just the shape and length of the bones. So what we have is, whether it's standing or sitting or bent at the elbow with the forearm, bent at the knee with the lower legs, laying on the back, sitting on the ground, any kind of position you could possibly place the body into, it's got one of two options: up an internal rotation or down an external rotation. It'll never possibly do anything else because it's the shape and length of the bones connecting directly to each other through ligaments, muscles connecting to those bones through tendons, and only ever pulling directly in line. There's nothing else the human body could ever possibly do mechanically. It's impossible. Always has been as well. There's only one way the motion occurs. It's truly physics. So that's enough for this video's explanation, but there's just no possible opinion to it. So the thing is, we get into chronic patterns of working or chronic patterning that aren't balanced and aren't even. But no matter what, there's always still a neutral position. There's no possible opinion to that. It's just from one side or the other side of motion, one side or the other side of motion, but in the entire body. I mean, it doesn't matter what or where in the entire human being you want to talk about there being two sides to all the motion. There's only up and internal rotation or down and external rotation. The body comes up and internal rotation or down and external rotation. This video is titled the 18th of August 2026 under In The Image Clothing Company's main site here. It's no new information, but it is the truth. Clothing's physically placed on the body. The only literal thing on the physical body is the word of clothing it with something. Okay, I'm trying to get through this because the sun's shining on the device. I don't need it to overheat and not save this video. But thank you. The state of Utah, the United States of America, In The Image Clothing Company here, specifically St. George, Utah. We have no possible opinion here, but imbalances in clothing, the body with anything, will imbalance the body. Shoelaces, drawstrings, pocket zippers, buttons, rotating seams in clothing, collar seams. The collars need to stay centered and snug around the even opposing musculature to the neck, right? It's a wasp in my face. Up and internal rotation, down and external rotation. Up and internal rotation, down and external rotation. There's only one way the human body could ever work. In The Image Clothing Company. I'll be doing this for the rest of my entire lifetime, just teaching people truth about their human flesh. We give a lot of free modifications in clothing. The body with anything: hats, glasses, gloves, shoes, pants, tops, socks, undergarments, jewelry, a bag over the shoulder, a blanket over the shoulders. Whatever it is, there's only one way the human body could ever work, and gravity's got the same effect on our clothing that it has on our bodies. If we pull our bodies down at all, they go into external rotation. The body comes up and internal rotation or down and external rotation. This video's title, the 18th of August, 2026, under In The Image Clothing Company's main site here. It only is what it is. Don't get it twisted, kids. Like a rope around the waist or the ankles, shoelaces or drawstrings. They're just ropes. Okay, thank you. Check out the other three sides of In The Image Clothing Company if you'd like to. In The Image Clothing Company Poodles, In The Image Clothing Company Podcast with discussions on the gospel of Jesus Christ. We're on episode 216 as of today's date, the 18th of August, 2026. And In The Image Clothing Company Music. We'll always have good clothing available, simple, minimal, light, brandless on the exterior clothing, just to allow the body to work, that doesn't have imbalances in it that will damage the body. The body always works, unless or until altered. It just grows to be the shape and length that it is at the bones. It'll just do what it does unless it can't. No opinion to that. And we get out of the chronic patterning that gets built up in the body here under In The Image Clothing Company, as I have personally done for the past almost 2 years. As of next month, I have been leading In The Image Clothing Company after I founded it. Personally, me, Evan Strong, and you can see my body transform. I haven't done a single workout or gained any muscle mass or stretched my body at all, but bone spurs and scar tissue, problems with lacking ranges of motion that exist in the human being from birth until death, moving until the bones hit into each other and you'll never go anywhere else, on either side of an opposing position to a neutral in the entire human being. It just does what it does. The body has to work activated as a whole. It's all there. Everything's connected to everything else. Anywhere any of your body goes, all of it comes. So if you've got parts of your body not able to play their role that they're there to play, the rest of the body will be in a constant state of compensation and trying to make up for the role of things that aren't working, which is impossible because everything only does what it does in the body. There's no opinion to it, but it's also just truth. It's just information that's always been there. But we have an extremely thorough and deep understanding of it here. Me personally, Evan Strong, as the founder, but also just In The Image Clothing Company in general, our team will always be extremely well-informed, God-fearing, nature-loving, poodle-loving human beings. Because this is only what it is, no matter where you are. Man, woman, tall, short, skinny, fat, any age, any part of the earth, any time period to ever be, you're just a human being within this universal human design. Clothing truly sits on the body with Earth's vertical gravity pull. So we discuss where clothing sits on the body very clearly here under In The Image Clothing Company. And there's no possible opinion to it. It's physics. It's mathematical angles of motion, hinges, levers, and rotations. The body will never do anything besides just what it's always been able to do. We've got to have context. The feet flat on the horizontal surface of the earth, the neutral to dorsiflexion or plantar flexion, lifting up or pointing down of the lever of the foot off the hinge of the ankle joint. Things like this, and there's many more things we discuss so much in such thorough depth. You couldn't possibly dispute the information we have under In The Image Clothing Company because it has nothing to do with us. Truth is truth, always and forever. It's outside of all of us. We can develop an understanding on it though, and we do have one here under In The Image Clothing Company very deeply on the things that we discuss and what we are doing, why we are here. We are only a clothing company to do what our slogan is here under our main side, allowing the body to work. All right, thank you, and goodbye. Okay. Up an internal rotation, down an external rotation. But this looks familiar, doesn't it? Bad posture. There's no such thing. The body has even mathematical opposing bends in it from bottom to top to stay vertical on Earth's vertical gravity pull. Okay. The ankles backward, the knees forward, the hips backward, the low back forward, the mid back backward, the upper back, which is the neck, forward. Here at the cervical spine, there is no possible opinion to it. Never could there be. It's not like I have some breakthrough. It's just truth. Clothing. All right. You don't have to care to even want to try to care, but In The Image Clothing Company shoelace technique. It applies to you. All of it. Everything. Any of it. Universal human design. Don't believe me? If this sounds crazy to you, the body resides in its neutral positions in all of it as an entirety, and then it works. There's always two sides to a neutral. Otherwise, there is not two sides. You're trying to work your body out, train your body, get your body into the ranges of motion that always have and always will exist. They should just be there because they just are. But you're in chronic patterning if they feel like they're not. There's no other option. It's impossible for there to be. Again, unless those very, very specific, extremely small percentile of human being cases where you've actually got a unique body because of something that's like a real difference, which we still have to do all we can. These universal laws outside of all of us still work the exact same, no matter if your body's different or not. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Jesus the Christ, the designer of the body. You don't have to believe it, but it grows to be what it is for everybody. All right.